Hello, it's Chloe and First.
Ça va.
Ça va. And here we are for the third episode of our podcast, Just Saying. In this third episode, we're going to talk about...
Religion.
Yes.
Christ. Not just Christ.
Don't go here, no. Off! So I think we can start by asking ourselves, what is religion? It's a bit of a complicated topic, I think, but for me, there's like two types of religions. There's religion as in the belief in a god or group of gods. Polytheism, monotheism, atheism. You believe in a god or multiple gods, or you don't believe at all. So this is like one classic definition of religion. And then there's, for me, when you use the word religion as when you're obsessed with something, when you do something a lot, like food is my religion, music is my religion, sport is my religion, whatever, or someone is my religion. Like sometimes it's a joke, right? So it means that you are so obsessed with it, it becomes the thing you only believe in, and you're committed to it, and you spend all your energy and time into it, and that's what makes it like almost religious, something like that. And of course, everyone knows what religions are. Like I think in the world, like everybody is aware of what religions are in place in their countries. For example, in Thailand here, there's obviously Buddhism.
Yeah.
There's also a few Muslims.
2
There's
to 3%.
Christian churches.
Less than 1%, yes.
Less than 1%.
If I remember correctly. I think it's less than 1%.
When you see buildings of different religions, different professions, you can see, oh, okay, we have this in my country, this in my country. So I know there are people within this country that are believing this religion or this religion. We, I think, are both from countries where there's not only one religion, there's multiple religions, and the government doesn't put pressure on what religion should be pushed forward or suppressed. Even though I will talk about this later, but in my country it's a bit more difficult, like right now. But yeah, what do you think about the definition of religion? Like, what's religion for you, and how do you feel it like here in Thailand?
Religion is just stuff that people believe in. And it's systematic because a religion can have multiple branches of beliefs. Some major leader of a sub-religion. I don't know, what's the term? You know how Christian has Protestant, Catholic?
Yes.
What's the term for that? It's not sub-religion, it's something else. There's a term. It's a branch.
Like branches.
It's a branch of
Yeah.
religion. Yeah. So this is really up to history, also how one interprets and makes their interpretation popular. Like Catholic is just the original, I think it's original, Christianity. Then Protestant broke off because Catholic kind of became more materialistic in how they worshipped God. If you go to Catholic churches, right, it's massive paintings, it's beautiful churches. That kind of went against the Protestant belief that it should be simple. So if you go to a Protestant church, and I've been to both, then Protestant churches are very simple. It's like systematic learning. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like going to school, different types of schools. So religion is the same thing, different types of religions and who you want to believe. And then you can be anti-religion, either as an atheist or more on the neutral side, which is agnostic.
Is it the same as atheism?
No, atheism is, I reject that there's no God. Agnostic is more neutral, like I don't know if there's God or there's no God. So I just stay kind of neutral. I don't know, essentially.
Okay. So why is religion a big thing? I guess everybody knows it's a big thing. Like, I think even people who don't believe or people who don't have any religion themselves, they know that religion is kind of like this important thing that is part of our daily lives and has changed a lot of things and has influenced a lot of things and keeps influencing things. For example, everybody heard in the news lately that the Pope died. So it's like major news, big breaking news. And even if I don't really care about that religion in particular, I'm still like, oh wow, okay, the Pope died. It's like, it's an event. It's something that is major. Depending where you live, depending where you were born, depending the life you have right now, you are still influenced by, the many things that religion has done. For example, I think about societal norms. So I think religion shaped a lot of things in today's society, even when you are not part of a religious community. For example, I've been to Malaysia, and Malaysia is a different case because the state religion is Islam. So it means that the government is pushing only one religion. And while they might allow all other religions to practice within the country, you still have to follow the Muslim rules, like the Islam rules, like everyone. So if you are a Muslim under the religious state, you need to practice Islam. So I have a funny story about, for example, one of my friend who's a Muslim, Malaysian Muslim, during the Ramadan, so during the period where you're not supposed to eat from between the early morning and late night, he was actually hungry. So what he would do some days, he would hide in his car, like hide in a parking lot or something, and then eat secretly. Because you're not supposed to eat in public, you're not supposed to show you're eating. Because police would actually see you eating and go and ask you, hey, are you Muslim? Like, show me your ID and stuff. Like, they would be suspicious if you eat. You would risk to pay a fine. Usually pay a fine because you are not respecting the religion of the state.
Do you have the religion identity on your ID for Malaysia?
I am not sure. What about Thailand?
We do, but then we removed it. Now it's optional, but you can still, if you want,
Oh.
you can have it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
'Cause in French ID, no, you don't have a religion.
Yeah, Thailand removed it. So no, not removed, optional now.
Oh.
Because I switched a few times. So initially I put Christianity, then I was like, this would be funny to have.
That's very
Buddhist.
interesting, actually. Like,
And
why
then-
do you need to know the religion of someone?
Yeah, I think Thailand's trying to modernize this. We still haven't modernized the job application because a lot of jobs still require you to put your photo. Some people put height and weight, which is a weird thing to know, right? Yeah. So
Were you like exposed to religion when you were like young? Like, did your parents talk to you about religion or anything?
not so much. So my family is a bit. I don't know how other families are, but my family didn't really push religion onto me. So they didn't really tell me to go to church or temples or. I think the most that they would push is do marriage, which is you buy birds or animals or fish and you release them in their natural, actually not so natural habitat. Yeah, because they thought it would do good. But so when I was growing up, I was a Protestant because my grandparents became Protestant. I think to sell land, so we sold land to a church.
Wait. So they became Protestant just to be able to sell the church?
Yeah, I think so.
So it was like a business move.
Yeah, so I think so. They didn't say it, but yeah, it's because they went to church and then they brought me along, but they didn't really explain anything about Christianity. They also didn't explain anything about Buddhism. I was just kind of tagging along and observing. Then I went to a Catholic school, and back then I didn't know that it was a Catholic school. I thought it was a Christian school. The teacher asked us, "Oh, who here is Christian?" Obviously, I raised my hand, and then she put me into the Catholic church. For my school, every morning, if you're Catholic, you don't attend the class session, like the meeting at 8 a.m., where you get like morning lessons from your headmaster or whatever. So I didn't have to do that. I had to go to church. And it's not like a ceremony church. It's more like I had a more religious lesson from the church. So it's talking about religion, but then the teachers were kind of shit. So I think the lessons were not deep. They were shallow.
Do you remember like how?
Maybe went through some sort of Bible passage, or maybe we just sat there hanging around. It wasn't deep. So that was kind of what I had. And then if there's certain big event like Easter and stuff, we would attend the church during morning. Then we would come to class very late, but then we would get away because we Catholic. So I like that because I didn't have to be in school for the morning's lesson. As I grew older, I wanted to convert to Catholic more full-time because I thought it would be nice to learn more. Because I don't like when I'm in something and I don't know much about what I'm in.
Yeah, you like to know everything on a certain topic. Like,
Yeah.
If you start learning things, you kind of want to go dig deeper.
Yeah.
Until you're like, okay, I can talk about this with confidence.
Yes. And I wanted to understand the ceremony more. I still wasn't super religious, but it just out of my curiosity. So I talked to the priest. The priest was really, really surprised. It's just like some random kid just wanted to learn this. He said, "Had I been baptized?" I said no. So he was like, "Oh, let's learn this." So this was one of my bigger mistakes because I had to spend the next, I think, 1 to 2 years. I think roughly 2 years. After school, I had to learn with this priest. So I brought my grandfather as well to do it. So I converted him as well to Catholic because I think I would need a driver if I thought that if I became Catholic and no one would drive me to the church, it would kind of be inconvenient.
Yeah.
So I brought him along.
Yeah.
So we learned Catholic together for 1 2 years, almost every day. It was nicer because the lessons were deeper. So this was taught by an Italian priest, but he could speak Thai, of course. So we were learning theology, and you could actually debate him. So I actually debated him on some questions about God, and I actually enjoyed it. And the priest would give lessons and stuff, and it's all in Thai and it's localized. All the priests, Catholic priests, are generally European or Thai. So if they're European, they have to learn Thai. So all of them can speak Thai fluently. Yeah, so I understood quite a bit about religion. And because most people in Thailand, in my school, they were Buddhists, so we had to do a lot of events that were Buddhist related, like excursions to temples, Buddhist ceremonies and whatever, because my school was respectful. And same with my friends. They would be more exposed to Christianity as well, because if there's Christmas events or Easter or whatever, we hold the entire mass for the entire school.
So it was kind of like a mix of two religions, and it was working fine.
Yeah, coexistence.
That's good.
But head teachers, they're all Catholic. And they're still the same teachers. So there's no Buddhist teachers that would become like head teachers in different classes. So as a private school, the tuitions are more expensive than normal schools. Still not as expensive as international schools in Thailand, but it's on a higher price tag. So I think it's not the same as the original Moscow back in Italy, where it was poor.
It kind of like has lost its meaning.
Yeah, but in a way, it's nicer if you can afford, because then we have nice buildings. We were always studying in aircon. I never study without aircon since first grade. And then I saw some school, and I went to some schools for like tests or events, and I realized that they were just using fans. And my friends are, oh, what the fuck? Yeah, we were actually living so well.
Kid, huh?
Yeah, we were living so well. And I'm not from Bangkok, right? This is from like a Hatyai, deep south.
You said your grandpa was going with you to church at some point, but what about like the other members of your family? Did anyone say anything when you started to get into this new religion?
Not at all. My parents were divorced, so my dad didn't know. I stayed with my mom's side. My mom never called me, so I think she didn't really know until like later on. She never really called me directly, oh, what the fuck's going on? She was just... I remember that when she came to visit me, I went to church, she followed me, and then she took photos and videos of me as I was doing the mass. So she was kind of proud in a sense. So we never really had like tough conversation. Everyone's kind of free to choose their own religion. So my family, everyone has different religion. I think they were more on the Buddhist side. Yeah.
Like most Thai people.
Yeah.
For me, I guess it was very, very different because I didn't receive any religious education at all. I did learn about religion later, like on my later years, like when I was in art school and then university. That's when I studied religion more. So that's when I actually learned more about religions.
So, in your class, did you have a religion class?
No.
From first grade to high school?
No.
Oh, that's weird.
No,
I
not
had,
at all.
and it was, I don't know if it's called history. Social studies class where we learn about different religions, what they believed, different practices, and we always had to learn this every year. We didn't dig deep into it.
No, I didn't have this, but of course I had history classes. So during history, if we were talking about what happened in the past and stuff, we would kind of be like, okay, this guy, he was a Catholic, this guy was a Protestant, this guy was a Jew. Like, we learn about the fact that there are multiple groups, multiple communities, that some stuff happened in the past, but we didn't really talk about it as a separate topic. Yeah, I was totally religion free, I think, until I hit like 15, 16 years old. In my family, my parents were not religious. I got baptized when I was a baby. Family still, we still have a religion, let's say, but we don't practice it. I don't remember going to church just with my mom and my dad or just my family. So my grandma was more of a, Christian.
Makes
And then
sense.
she had this little picture of the Virgin
Yeah.
Mary on the on the fridge,
Mhm.
like so every day she can see it. So I'm like, okay. I was more thinking like, okay, it's a hassle to go to the church. Like, I don't want to fucking go. And I was like, what do I have to wake up Sunday morning to go to church? Like, for me, it was more like, oh, what the fuck am I doing? And then we would go to church if there's a wedding or a funeral. So those are the two events or things I would join if, I have to, because it's kind of religious related. And we do it in France. It's like normal. I guess in Thailand it's the same. When you're a Buddhist and you go to a funeral, they have this whole ceremony.
That's a random question. Like for the Christian mass, did you only have it during Sunday morning?
I think for me it would be only Sunday morning.
I swear. My church in Hadiai, we had I think 3 rounds, 2 or 3 rounds. So you have one very early morning, one during like 8 to 9, and one during 5 to 6. So I attended 5 to 6 because I couldn't wake up for 8 to 9.
I mean, my church, my local church, was very small. I live in a small city, like local church.
No, I think your city is quite big. Lyon?
I'm not from that city.
Like before.
I'm from close by.
Like how many people? Because my city was in...
It's not a village, it's a city, but it's not.
Yeah, 100K.
But yeah, so that's how it was with me. And then I grew up with a lot of friends from different religions. And I grew up mostly with Muslims. Because in my city, majority of people were Muslims. So I had neighbors from Turkey, Algeria, Morocco, and I even felt like I was one of the very few white people in my city. At least in my district, I was one of the few whites. Most of my friends, they were Muslims. They would go to like the mosque and stuff. They would like do stuff with their parents, their families, or talk about it with their friends. But none of them, at least the one I knew, none of them would be like super hardcore, like into religion. And then I had a few friends who were wearing the hijab. There are a lot of women that wear it. There were students that would wear the hijab before going to school, I think, if I remember. And then they would take it off during class and then wear it again after, something like that. Or you would see them when they go to the mosque, and then there was also this whole at school there was this whole thing where like some Muslims, they cannot eat pork, or they cannot even eat like any type of food. They have to eat halal, right? So I knew also that a lot of kids, they wouldn't eat pork because of their religion, and then a lot of kids, they would also do the fasting during the fasting month. So I remember clearly, like I felt really bad for one of my friends because we had like sports class.
PE. Physical education.
Yeah, thank you. So we had PE, so we had sport class, and on that, it was early morning in the summer, and my friend, she was so tired, and she didn't want to run with us because she was fasting. So she was like, I cannot do it. Like, I'm so tired, I'm fasting, I don't want to run, I don't want to sweat and everything. And so I was like, oh my God, this is really hard. Like, it's so tough on these kids, that are like, 10, 11 years old, I'm like, wow.
Wasn't so accommodating back then.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that ever. Like there's so many things that made me think, okay, why would you do this to yourself? So I was kind of like, I didn't hate religion and I wasn't rejecting it 100%, but I was definitely like, I am not gonna be part of any community because, first of all, because I don't feel like I need it. My parents don't talk about it to me, so I don't even know much. And it seems that there's a lot of restrictions, so I was like, no. Yeah, that's how I was. That was my opinion at the time. But I think, of course, my opinion changed. During my studies, I learned more about religion. As I said, I studied art. So I also studied religion on a deeper level because, arts and religion is really like tied. There's so many religious art from the past. So I had to study religion more and different religions together. It was very interesting and I learned a lot, and it kind of like broadened my view on religion. Still not feeling like I would, like be part of a community or something because I didn't feel like I want to. But then I think my view changed a lot about like why do people even start to believe and why do they even decide to be religious. Started to accept and understand why people would actually be in a religious community. Like right now, I understand that it has some benefits, it has some positive aspects. I think before, because I studied a lot of history and there were a lot of wars, a lot of conflicts caused by religion and everything, and also like all the news you hear like from my country, for example from France, Like there's a lot of controversy. It's always like, oh, it's like religious extremist terrorism there and there and there. It's always because of religion. It's always because, that you start to feel like, okay, religion is bad. Like they actually want to make you feel like religion is bad. But of course, they always pinpoint the same, religion. They never say, oh, it's bad Christian or Catholic or Protestant. It's just, oh, it's bad Muslims. Yeah. So France is kind of like, makes you want to hate religion, but at the same time, I'm happy that I learned by myself and that I met people from different places, and traveling also, helped me to see the countries where when it's governed by a religion, like Malaysia, Brunei, and then I realized like those countries are fine, it's just it's a bit different, but it's not like you don't live under fear, like it's totally okay. So I started to be really more open and understand why some people are into it and why they do it, and now I have a more positive opinion on religion. Yeah. What do you think about the negative aspects, the positive aspects of religion?
Positive, really clearly for Christianity, right? Well, if you finish a mass, for Protestant in particular, once you finish the mass, Protestant is a very simple mass. You would go out, you would eat lunch together. So there would be some sort of catering by the church, and then you would eat together and you would form a community because you would know people from church. So I think that's the clear benefit, especially as you get older. I think my grandparents really liked that because they didn't have a lot of friends, or their friends were fucking dead or something, or moved out of the town. So even when I was a kid, I noticed it was nice for them to kind of interact more with other people. I think this is more prominent in the US, where there's really a church community and then they do a lot of activities together. Because I was in the US as well. So my host family, when I was an exchange student, they're not religious, but then they would go to church sometimes. So the community there was better organized, there's more things to do. Obviously, the downside is that is anything regarding with humans, right? Or with human nature. You have people who are extreme, or people who interpret things incorrectly, or I wouldn't say incorrectly because I don't know if being extreme is wrong. Maybe it's right. Yeah, we'll never know. Yeah, but killing people is wrong. So for me, killing people is not always wrong. It depends.
Oh my.
Yeah, but this is a different philosophy.
Different topic. We talk about killing.
Yeah. It's like capital punishment and all that. Side note, right? A lot of Thai people agree with capital punishment.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we have it legal in Thailand.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you ask a lot of people, you will see sometimes on the news, oh, we should, kill this person. Like we should do capital punishment for this person. When someone did something really bad and then it's on the news. So people will actually say that publicly because that's how open we are to this. But I think Western concept is a bit hard to get someone to be killed, to receive the death penalty. Because of human nature, right? We do not like people who are not similar to us. So this leads to anything from race. Could be a simple meeting, right? If you in a room full of different people from different ethnicities, you would most likely mix with the people who look similar to you. It's just how human nature is drawn to, because you want to feel comfort. So with religion, if you belong to a certain religious group, you feel like the other religion is wrong because you believe yours is right, and you have the need to spread the word around, and that's how kind of war got started. Or you can use it as an excuse for war, right? This person's not the same as me, so I really need to educate this person. That's kind of how colonialism started, although it was mainly for money, I think.
There's something, when it comes to people who do bad things in the name of religion. I think there's definitely people who they think they're right, but I also think there's a lot of people, especially the smarter ones who kind of like organize all these things. The leaders, not the extremist leaders, the people that are head of extreme religious party and stuff. Those people are very smart, and I think those are the ones that are probably the more like cold-headed. In my opinion, I think they don't do this because they think about, oh, that's what's best for the religions of our community. I think they are very selfish, and I think that they know how to manipulate people into make them believe that this is for the greater good. But this is actually for them to be able to have more power and establish their own society and then their own country, and then they rule everyone, and then they're new kings, new emperor, whatever. So I think when it comes to extremist groups, the one that cause violence, like the jihad and everything, I think they are well organized and very smart, and I think they absolutely don't kill for religious purposes. I think some of them within the group, be the one that that are younger or the one that are a bit more dumb, they actually think that they are serving God and everything. But I think that the whole purpose of those groups is not religion; it's just we kill and we do terrorism and we scare people because we want to show that we are more powerful and that we can take over the country, or we don't agree with your government, we're going to take over the country, something like that. Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, coexisting is always more troublesome mentally to do because, as I said again, right, it's easier to just have people similar to you. You talk about people and then they know what you're talking about. They go to similar school, have similar beliefs. It's just easier. But then I think in the long run, it's always to have different opinions and stuff. It's just harder mentally because you have to listen to stuff that you might not agree with. So I think by human nature, it's just harder. But when I say human nature, it doesn't mean that it's good or bad. It's just how we are wired. Yeah. If we follow human nature all the time, there would be no societies because we would be doing a lot of extreme stuff. We would kill people, hurt people if we don't like them. Right? If we just follow our emotions or our nature all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I think we both met people who they are like part of a religious community. They're like very proud. They maybe work for their church on weekends. They are advisor, counselors for their church and whatever. And those people that I met, they're very good people. They're very kind. Sometimes I know when I would not agree with them or their views, or I would feel like, this is a bit outdated, or like, this is a bit too, I don't know. But it would be fine. Like, they're still great people. And even if there's a few things I disagree with, they were still like super decent human beings and normal people, and they would have a lot of good ideas and, goodwill, good intent, and very cool and nice. Like, I don't feel any problem. Like, I don't believe it doesn't change anything. And we just live like normal lives.
Coexistence, yes.
Yeah.
For me, I secretly hate those people.
Which ones?
Like the decent, the counselors, the decent people. Because
you could have been like this, but you didn't.
It's more like, I don't know if this is for everyone or some people. My mind just hates when I see people who are like truly good. It's annoying. And I always think, are they faking it? Are they actually this nice, or they have some sort of agenda?
But no one is really, truly good 100%.
I think there's a tiny percentage. So it's the same with like murderers, right? It's on the extreme end. And most of it is in the middle of the spectrum. And then there's a truly amazing good people. So I always think, are they like the truly amazing good people, or are they just the people who put up an act?
I think it also depends what good means for you. Because you can see an action as good doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, but the counselor, right, where they really believe in helping people, and then they're religious.
Imagine, for example, you have this kind of person, okay? He's a dad, like that, or a family of people, whatever. He's very involved in his church. He loves to help people. So he helps people every day of the fucking week. His work is basically helping people. But then he spends so much time helping people, he doesn't actually care about his own family. Or he doesn't have time to help his own family. Yeah. So does that make this man good? Because he's helping other people, but he doesn't help his own family?
I mean, it's good and bad because it's...
I think if you invest time in something, let's say helping people or being a good person, you lose time for something else. And eventually you cannot make everything right around you.
I think it's possible.
I don't think it's possible.
It's just hard. Yeah, I don't like when someone says it's impossible. I think in your case, it could be that he or she could have made it good both sides. Maybe just less time doing financially rewarding jobs because they spend so much time helping people that they don't have time for themselves to do, I don't know, financially satisfying careers.
And there's also people who they spend so much time thinking about other people or helping other people, they don't think about their own, they become sick or whatever. Yeah, I don't think everyone can be always good in all areas of life and then there's no downside to it or there's no consequence. And there's also people who, there's some situations where you want to do good, you think you're doing good, but then the other person is actually doesn't need that thing from you. You know what I mean? So it's like you want to do good, but then the other person is rejecting it because that's not their vision of good or what they consider as good for them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think this is good for you. But the other is like, no, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
And that can also lead to, I think, religious extremism. When someone thinks that they're doing good and they're doing good for other people, but that's actually not what the other people want. and then it becomes a forced religion on people. You know what I mean?
That's kind of like how colonialism was a big sort of religious drive, and for the economy as well, like getting spices, getting shit to trade, silvers, gold, using religion as a driver.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
But I think if I were back then, I think I would use it to drive that, because back then it would be hard to like make an announcement and convince people logically. It's just an easier sell to use religion. So I think to wrap it up, we should talk about how things are for us
Now,
religiously.
yes.
For me, I'm now more agnostic.
So it means you do not believe or believe.
It's more like you don't know
You don't
if God exists or not.
Yes.
So it's just neutral. I used to believe a lot when I was a kid because I wanted free shit. And I think God was just a stronger entity compared to Buddha.
So you thought he would give you stuff.
Yeah. So like you could write shit down like, oh, Christmas I wanted this.
Ah.
So I'd write like PlayStation 2 and
And did you get it?
Yeah, I got those.
But is it because you pray a lot or you asked your mom to pray?
Both. Didn't ask my mom, my grandfather. Yeah, so
You were like manifesting.
Yeah.
I want this shit.
Yeah. And then like I thought it would be like you pray, you would get higher chance of success. Which is kind of like in game, you get like a luck bonus, like buff.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I thought as a kid. And I don't know, I thought it was kind of working well, so I just kept going with the Christianity thing. Then as I grew older, then I wanted to rely more on myself, arrogantly perhaps, but I just gradually lost touch with religion and...
You lost touch with Jesus.
Yes. Now I believe I can provide for myself. I do not need a man in the sky or under the sky or heaven or earth. I provide for myself.
I do not need a man. It's funny.
Yeah.
So like,
God is a woman. Yeah. So now that's why I'm more. Yeah. There's no religion at this point.
What about Buddhism?
Values don't resonate with me. I don't like the idea that some shit I did in the past, like karma,
You
would
don't
come
like
back.
the idea of karma.
Yeah, I also don't like that you just achieve enlightenment and then it's just kind of that. It's not really ambitious for me.
But don't you feel like karma is just a different word for like consequences?
Yeah.
Like you do something, there's consequences.
I think if you do bad things, but if you plan it well enough, you're going to be fine. Same with good things. I think it just comes down to planning and execution. I think mentally, I feel like karma limits my potential to do things.
Oh yeah, because people would be scared to do something.
Yeah. And correct. And interestingly enough, there's research that looks into this, like people's mentality and their ambitions. So Buddhism can influence this, or Hinduism.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Just like Christianism or any religion.
Yeah.
Like they can all influence your way of thinking.
Yeah, because it's part of your culture, value, society, norms, and all that, right? So I do not remember who conducted the research, but
it's also about control.
Yeah, control, yes.
Because you have more control.
Yeah.
If you think that everything comes from you, then it's like you control everything.
Yeah.
If you think things come from another god or something that is, somewhere you don't really know, but you expect that thing to do stuff for you or help you in a way, then you're dependent.
Yeah, exactly. That's well put. So with my therapist, he also said the same thing, that I like this control thing. Not that I'm controlling, but more like
it's more like you like to have to stay in control of your own
decisions.
Like you don't control people, but you want to be in control of yourself.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So I do not like the idea that some entity out there, pulling strings. Yes, I want to pull my own string.
So I think I haven't changed much from what I believed in before, what I believe in now. Okay, it's a little slightly different topic from religion, but when it comes to beliefs. When it comes to believing, I accept and believe a little bit in supernatural things.
Like ghosts?
I'm not talking about religion, but
werewolves.
I do believe there are some entities or some stuff that people can see or feel or sense that is beyond reality. So something that's all real, So I do have this kind of belief where I feel like this is not all there is to life, and that there are things we don't see and cannot understand or that are not comprehensible, but they still are here. So this is something from this aside, that I want to say. But in terms of religion, I'm not part of any community. I don't intend to join any community. I keep respecting every religion and every person that I meet that is religious. Yeah, it's okay for me. Like, it's just part of life. It's normal. But I don't plan to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think interestingly, Gen Z now believes in religion more than in the past. So something that we can look it up as well on why.
Do you know which is the main religion?
Kind of Christianity, maybe. Some sort of Christian association or foundation says that the number of Christian people went up.
So the source is a
It's
Christian
a Christian,
organization.
yeah. Always, but
Okay.
this shows us the younger generation is looking for something, like some
Like
sort
a
of
meaning.
connection, communities, meaning, yeah.
I think there was also, I'm sorry, like this is the end of the video, but I saw something very interesting on the topic of, how the world has changed now and how people are changing in a bad way because there is no more meaning to life. And so the fact that we lost the meaning, the belief in
Heaven.
religion and heaven, hell and everything
Enlightenment.
has consequences, as in people are now like lost and they don't know what to do with their lives. They don't know what's the meaning anymore, and they create so many problems, and people are adopting themselves and lose self-esteem and shit because they don't have like a meaning.
So they need a god emperor,
They need they need guidance.
which is me. Which is me.
But like, I found this topic very interesting. I think there's a lot more to say about this. I just found it was a very interesting idea and something that's, we can definitely discuss about it and explore how it affected today's generation. As long as they don't force it onto people and everybody respects each other, like I said earlier, then I'm good with it.
Yeah, so I had a teacher who was like Protestant. She was so aggressive when I said I was Catholic. She was like, oh.
Aggressive?
Yeah, she was like, oh, why was it like this? Why was it like that? She was,
Oh.
yeah. And I was quite young. This was some of the more aggressive Christians that I met.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you have any story about religion, anything you want to share with us, any comments, any thought, any interesting articles or studies or videos, you can share those with us in the comments. We'll see you for the next topic. In
3 months.
I have a few less. I hope less. I have a few ideas for next topics already. I think there's a good one that I want to do.
Because we have a lot of work.
Great ending. We have a lot of work.
But anyway, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ironically, I have this next to me.
Yeah, you're playing. I have a lot of work. You're playing.
It's Saturday.